Mayor Shane McFarland back with you for another episode of Everything Traffic. I'm here with Chris Griffith. Chris is our Executive Director of Public Infrastructure here in the city, and we started doing these about a year ago just to keep you updated on what's happening with road projects inside the city. We realize that transportation and traffic is one of the #1 priorities, not only of our city, but it's one of the #1 things we hear about from our residents on what's happening with this road, when is something happening, and how's it happening. So Chris is going to tell us about several projects. We're going to talk to you about 3 city projects, and then we're going to talk to you about a couple of state projects. So Chris, let's start with Blackman Road, Burnt Knob, and Manson.
Yeah, that was a project. You'll remember you sounded the alarm on that one probably a couple of years ago when the county started looking at schools out there. But we just basically just made that intersection look like the intersection up at Fortress, because we saw very similar traffic patterns as far as left turn lanes and stuff. And very tight timeline. We wanted to have all that, or at least want to have the signal operational and as many of the lanes as we could operational by the time school opened. Eric Toombs, Joe Elleben, Lexi Stacy did a great job in really pulling all that together. You know, folks kind of laughed at us just for trying to get it done, but they just had a good contractor too. Just did a phenomenal job. They're out actually working on some of the thermo. Yesterday,
the striping
on it, yes. And then we're also, we've had some complaints about it being a little dark, so we're actually adding street lights to the intersection over here over the next few months.
That's great. And how, just for perspective, how long did it take to do that project?
It was, well, we gave ourselves about a month per approach, so about 4 months, 5 months, and that's including utilities too. AT&T, they had some pretty big stuff out there. They had, I think they probably took about a month and a half, and we just, the contractor worked with us. CUD worked with us. They left their lines in the road, which they never do, just so we were able to get that open and get the school operational.
Is it safe to say that's the fastest road project we've ever done inside the city?
I think so. I do. 20 plus years that I've been with the city, we wouldn't have ever even tried that before. Even with the design, we had to require a lot of right-of-way. The folks were we were able to land deals with a lot of them, so everything really went right with that.
Great. Well, tell us about Medical Center Phase 2. I was just driving Medical Center today, as a matter of fact, and seeing across from the fountains, we've got the barrels there. We're adding the medians or removing the medians. So tell us what's happening there.
Yeah, so if you'll remember, we just finished Phase 1, which was from I-24 to just before you get to Thompson Lane. So we finished up that little section all the way to Thompson Lane over the last couple of months. Everyone should notice that that's done now. Phase 2 will take us all the way basically to the big curve, we call it, or the fountains. And so we're kind of working backwards. We're working from the fountains back towards to Thompson Lane. So if you remember before we widened out, we took out some of the where the right turn lanes were, we turned those into through lanes. This one we're doing opposite, we're widening to the inside. That's because of where the utilities are located. You know, Mayor, you've been doing this long enough that, you know, road projects are really just utility projects that we come back in and kind of build a road
asphalt
over.
on top of it, yeah.
So the utilities are on the outside on this section of Medical Center Parkway, so we're going to widen to the inside. And we, you know, the landscaping there has gotten really big. We've gotten some complaints about not being able to see some of the signals and stuff. So we are going to take out the trees from the middle, but it will still have a median, and we will come back with landscaping. It won't be as big and robust. We'll try to you know, to get some stuff that's smaller, but it will be landscaped back. That one we're going to stop before the Christmas shopping season gets going so much, just because that's such a hot area.
Yeah.
And then we'll pick back up over the winter. But this phase 2 will get us to the fountains, and then later, probably starting towards the end of next year, we'll start phase 3, which will take us all the way to Broad Street. So we'll have 6 lanes and then a center turn lane through a lot of it on Medical Center Parkway.
That's great. Another project I'm really excited about is the Rutherford Boulevard extension.
Yeah, this is going to be a great project. This is the first bridge. Of course, the city has built some bridges over the interstate. This will be the first bridge we've built in a long time over the interstate. You know, at our request, TDOT came in, basically all of our interstate bridges, they turned them into interchanges. And so what our 2040 major thoroughfare plan showed was the interstate was really a barrier for us, and we didn't have enough ways to get across it. So this is the first of 3 projects that we'll be doing, basically, which will be just bridges over the interstate. So if you want to come into the downtown area, you'll just go across that bridge. But this one will connect Warrior Drive over to Rutherford Boulevard. We're also looking at the possibility of extending that on to Rutledge Way. Matter of fact, the council will make the final decision on that on Thursday. We've got an item on the agenda for you guys on it.
Which I think makes a lot of sense to be able to connect. So Rutledge Way would connect Middle Tennessee Boulevard. And that's one of the things I think that we've talked about. You really can't make the interchanges much bigger than what they are right now. So you've got to find different ways where people can go to different places inside our city and not have to go through those interchanges.
Exactly. Church Street, New Salem, Old Ford, even Medical Center has gotten really busy. So you're exactly right. It's a lot easier just to build a bridge across the interstate than it is. You know, you start doing those interchange improvements. Well, the state will take the lead on that, but that's easily $50 million just for the construction side of it. So it's a big undertaking. So we think this one's around 20 some odd million, just making the connections and everything to it. We've gotten through some environmental hurdles we had on that. There's a little bit of wetlands in that area, but that's all. We've got all the permitting and everything done. Yeah. So shortly after the first of the year, we hope to bid that and go to construction.
Well, and I think something that's important, for the taxpayer as well. The first 2 projects, we didn't borrow money to do those projects. We've basically used cash to build those. It's not to say that we won't try to refund those at some point,
sure.
But all of this work we're doing, we've not done a bond issuance for over 2 years now. So this is all the city council is trying to be diligent with our fund balance and not having to borrow money. And of course, when you borrow money, you're bringing on debt service. So
sure.
That's been able to allow us to focus on some of these projects. And you had a good segue talking about the state interchanges. We've got a couple of state projects that are going on right now. And we continually try to partner with the state to not only provide assistance, but also to have boots on the ground that we can help. But tell us about the 3rd phase of Highway 99 or New Salem.
Yeah, New Salem, this is actually a phase that we requested. Originally, they were going to stop at Cason Lane and said, hey, we've got this loop, at least around the southwest section of town, Veterans Parkway. We'd like for it to go all the way out to it to kind of complete that traffic area. TDOT, once again, I think that was Dana Richardson at that time was doing that. Jim Kerr works with them a lot now. Both of them had a great relationship with TDOT and really, that's a $50 some odd million project that TDOT, state tax that's being spent here in Murfreesboro. And we're excited about it. Vulcan got that award. We believe they'll do a good job with it. We don't think it'll take, I know the section there between 24 and Old Fort took a while. A lot of that was, again, utilities, yeah. And, you know, you had a lot of businesses you had to keep open through there. It's a lot more spaced out once you get out there. It's not as densely developed, so we're hoping that goes a little bit faster.
Yeah, and I think it's, if I'm right, once you get to Veterans Parkway, this project is going to go about another 1,300 feet towards Rockville High School, so you're improving that whole intersection right there at Veterans and Highway 99.
Yeah, it'll be a complete intersection. You're exactly right, Mayor. It'll have a full complement of turn lanes and additional through lanes to get folks through there.
To be our first advanced signal control technology inside the city. What about Rutherford Boulevard?
Yeah, so this is AI before AI was a thing. So this is actually on Rutherford Boulevard. It's really kind of around the campus all the way back towards Broad Street. And it's where signals learn what traffic is doing during different times of day, and just imagine, if you will, the like MTSU, basketball, women's basketball, UT Lady Vols coming in next week. It's a sellout. You got a lot of traffic coming there, so the signal would automatically learn. So it's got detections ahead, and it can actually measure what speed you're going, and so it'll actually learn where some of the traffic changes, and it'll give folks more green time on Rutherford. Or conversely, if there's not as much needed, say at John Bragg or some of the other roads there, it'll switch time to them.
And right now we're manually doing that through our mobile operations center, where we may get a complaint. We're working on timing and
yes, it's something that we've got someone that basically just kind of goes through and fine tunes the timing at intersections when we get complaints about it. Because as much development as we have, say they get when In and Out opens up, that's going to completely change that traffic pattern out there, and we're going to make adjustments for it. But until you actually see the cars there, you're not going to know. But with Rutherford Boulevard, it's actually going to know, say, hey, something's different here, and so we need to work with a lot of technology. I tell Jim Kerr all the time, so we don't have enough money to build our way out of all this, so I need traffic signals to become smarter, and this is the answer to it.
And politicians be smarter too, right?
No, we've got a great council. It's
not budget time yet, Chris. You don't.
Well, it's never too early.
That's right. I get it. Yeah. I hope y'all see. We've got a team, and we sit up here and we tell you what's happening, but we have a really good team that's working behind the scenes, that they're handling and doing all the heavy lifting. And so to them, I just say thank you for working on all of the traffic and transportation projects we have inside our city. We're going to do our best to keep you updated as projects progress along. There's some new projects that we're going to hopefully be able to update you on. Thompson Lane will be one that we talk about coming up, and we're working on some different things on Memorial. The city council voted not too long ago to try to petition the state to get a widening on Memorial all the way out to Jefferson Pike. So there's a lot of things that are in process. These are a few of our most important that we're already in the process of starting. So we'll keep you updated as more things come across. So as always, it's a priority of ours to make sure that you're educated and understand what's happening inside the city. But more importantly, to be transparent and give you that information. So you can go to our city website, you can go to YouTube, you can go to Facebook, X. There are all of these sites that you can go and get information. If you haven't used our city GIS program before, it is a great thing to get on. You can see road networks, you can see approved road construction plans. There's just so information out there that you can keep up with. So we're going to continue to keep you updated. And if you have any questions, as always, you can email me, smcfarland@murfreesborotn.gov, or you can always get on our website. You can get a hold of us through there as well. So if we don't talk to you soon, we will be back in probably 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
All right.
Look forward to it, Mayor.
Thanks a lot.